So, you may have noticed the change of scenery from my workshop in the retro dungeon, as I'm going to probably start calling it, and I'm back in my office slash game room. And you may be wondering why. Well, the reason for the change of scenery is because, unfortunately, as you saw, cracked screen lens, cracked case, slightly yellowed. I can't clean this gunk off, so even if I wanted to replace the lens, and can't really remove that easily. So everything else came out nice and clean though, but we know it works. We know the screen works and it plays games. But the part 2 was going to be what's inside here, which was some stuff for modding. But we'll take a look at what I got first, and marvel at my hopefully creative selections. So for the Game Boy, I picked up, it came in a little bag here, so I've got a screen lens. I went with the blue one because why not? As well as a bunch of different rubber membranes for controllers and battery terminals, blue buttons. I could have gotten different colored membranes, but I figured why? You're not going to see them, so those will go there. And I did pick these up from Handheld Legend. I like their stuff. I haven't bought anything from there yet, so we'll find out for sure. But I've seen a lot of other YouTubers pick up their stuff, and I've seen photos, and everything seems to look good. So I went with that, and it came with test before install for the LCD screen that I picked up that I'll show you next. Also some stickers, it looks like, and stuff. So that's kind of neat. Have some stuff to decorate later. Not the Game Boy, the my collection room, shelving, stuff like that. So, but next is an IPS screen mod, and if you're not familiar with these, they also come with a brand new LCD driver board and button board, as well as a piece of, I'm guessing some sort of adhesive maybe, or maybe it's just a leftover strip, not sure. I'll have to look at the instructions for that. What I like about their kit is it comes with a mounting bracket so you can center it correctly. So there's that. Surprised I just put the bare PCB in this, unless this is an anti-static bag. But I'm sure they haven't had any issues with it, so no big deal. This they did put in an anti-static bag, so that's good. And this is the rest of the driver board, some ribbon cables, and the screen itself, which is actually a little bit different than the ones that I've seen, because the older, and this might be a newer revision of the kit, but you can see this outline here, and that's because the screen itself was longer. It was a smartphone screen, so they must have sourced some smaller screens. That's even better, especially for those that like to get replacement shells, clear shell, things like that. It won't show up as much, so we'll get that in there. And of course, last but not least, a new shell, and I went with just a plain white shell. I believe these are paintable. I'm not going to paint mine, but these should be paintable. And it also comes with rubber membranes inside, as well as extra buttons, which I don't know if I noticed that or not. It doesn't matter because I'll have spare parts. It does come with the shield already pre-installed. That's nice. I don't know if it's a new one or a used one. It's got some staining on it, so it's tough to say, but it is also a type of metal that stains somewhat easily from what I've seen. So, but yeah, it looks like they gave me, as part of the shell, some extra membranes and stuff like that. Now they went with white again. Now maybe if you go with a clear shell, you want colored membranes, but that's fine. I've got some spares that I'm going to have available to me now. New screws for the case itself, and I'm assuming to be able to attach the new PCB buttons as well. I'm not going to have it all white. I wanted to go with a white and blue motif, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I think it's going to look nice with the blue on white like that, and then blue buttons. Also a power switch cover that goes right there. Now, these cases are supposed to be pre-modded for these lens kits. I'm sorry, the screen kits, so I shouldn't have to cut anything, but I'll have to find out with some instructions, which it doesn't come with, which means they're on the website. Yeah, so this is what I'm going to do is I'm going to take everything out of here, put it in here along, well, except for the screen and the button board, because we've got a replacement for that. And then there's also display controls where you will end up pushing in the contrast wheel. Well, I guess now it's going to be the brightness wheel, which will allow you to change colors and things like that. So the only other thing I have to do with this old Game Boy, by the way, and I have to remember to do this, is I have to desolder the speaker from here and solder it onto the new board. So I'll do that off camera because I don't have a soldering kit up here. And I really don't want to bring my entire reflow station upstairs. So it's funny that the silk screening on the board is printed upside down. It's correct, but it's still upside down, and I think that's kind of funny. But yeah, the speaker solders in here. This obviously just ultimate goes on like that. And you can see it's a little wobbly because it is missing some of the supports that used to be here. In fact, let's just set this to the side now. I got to open up this Game Boy anyway, get the speaker desoldered. So let me go ahead and get this speaker desoldered and the rest of the parts put away, and we will go from there. All right, now that my hand smells a little bit like flux, we should be ready to go. The new LCD board has solder points with contacts on both sides, so you can technically solder from any side, but I did it the way the original Game Boy screen had it, which was from the back and to the front. So up to you how you want to do it. Now on another website, I managed to find not necessarily instructions, but kind of pictures. It tells you what you need to do in the event you do need to do any trimming to the case or to the shell. You're supposed to trim this little area around, but it's already done here, so that's fine. There's also another support piece of plastic here that has to be removed, as well as 2 screw holes here. So that's already taken care of by this kit. So what we're going to do first is the easier part and install this. Actually, I wonder if it came with an expansion port cover. I don't think it did. I wonder if it was supposed to or not. Don't see one. Well, that's fine. I'll have to go back and check later. Before I assemble it and put screws in, let's make sure that there's a good fit with the cartridge. Oh yeah. Perfect. Now, I'm pretty sure that these holes here are probably not pre-tapped. That's why they give you these self-tapping screws. Before I go further, just in case I have to take this stuff back out, I don't think I will, but we'll see. This does not have little locking tabs, so... Oh, this already has springs in there already to begin with. Alright, I've got some extras even. Cool. This thing comes with everything. So remember that if you order a shell kit from Handheld Legends, at least the one that I got, which was the... what do they call this? The Prestige shell. Comes with the battery terminals already pre-installed, comes with buttons that match the case color, the shell color, if you want those or not. Battery cover, so cool. I'm getting dust in here. Remember to clean this out later. Now the one thing it does not seem to come with are the tri-wing screws, which again, doesn't matter ultimately. But I'm probably going to put those back in just to keep it as close to stock as possible. There, now that it's secured, let's make sure one more test fit. Cool. Now they did say, well, I gotta get the screen assembled and everything. Once I do, before I put everything together, I'll test it before I close it up and just make sure that it works. So that's done for now. So they've got this set up like that, and it's a slightly different bracket, but this goes on like so. So it doesn't quite line up. Oh, it lines up with that there. Okay, so that makes sense. There's a plastic cover on here. So, and this went on like that. So don't drop your screen. So that goes in like that because there is a room for this little ribbon connector here, because I believe this then attaches to the back like so. Ribbon folds over. You should probably not remove the film until you absolutely have to, because again, you see I'm touching it a lot. I'm probably getting fingerprints on it. Once it's in this bracket, it's in there, so be mindful of that. But it is designed to center the screen as perfectly as possible. So don't apply too much pressure, because you don't want to damage the screen, of course. And then they do suggest putting a small strip on the back of this. Got plenty to go around, but I'll just do a little bit like they suggest. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect it first and then fold it back over and secure it. There. And that's all there is to that. So they do suggest to put this in now. We'll remove the screen protector temporarily. Drop this in place and then reapply it just enough just to protect it further from dust and things like that, because dust can be annoying. So that goes in and slides in like so. I don't know what these extra holes are for. Maybe this is a universal mount, who knows. So and we have to attach this. Where is the... there. Pretty secure. Yeah, this wobbles because the support that's normally there is not there anymore. So now, according to, before I actually screw it down, the last time I didn't do this, I had to take it all apart again, as we would get the membranes in. I went with, should have gone with blue for this, but that's okay. Maybe I'll do white for the start and select. Is the bad membrane? Yeah, I grabbed the bad membrane. I want the good one. Compare the new start and select rubber pads with the old one. It's about the same. Slightly more of a reddish, purplish gray color. So we'll get that here. And that goes on like so. And they're saying to only install 6 screws over here. And then these two, this one here and this one here. Obviously there aren't any additional screws on this board, so those are the only ones you can really do anyway. Compared to the old board, which had screws at the top, over here as well. So I think there were 10 screws total. Start and select don't stick out too far. But then again, their membranes are the same, so I guess that's just it. Maybe I'm just being paranoid. There. All right, so now this part's going to be the obvious part, but just in case, we've got to connect these two halves, but I did manage to get this stubborn ribbon finally installed. Of course, it's going to be more difficult to install. Oh, no, maybe not. There. Okay, so before I fully assemble the rest of this, I think that ribbon's even longer. Let's get some batteries and test this guy. Okay, I'm not getting a picture, but I am getting sound. Obviously something's not connected all the way. Or when I drop the screen, I broke it, in which case I gotta buy a replacement screen now. Or I don't have this ribbon in all the way. Oh, there we go. Yeah, the ribbon just wasn't in all the way. So, let's try a game again. There we go. Oh, that is nice and crisp. Yeah, it is definitely showing up on camera nicely. All right, so I'll turn that off. So if you're installing your kit and you don't get a picture, but everything else seems to work fine, check the ribbons. They are really stiff and they are a little tough to install. But once they're in, they're in. Hopefully they're in, and that's it. And you should really try to install it into the main board first, and then the new driver board. So now it's pretty much just reassemble everything and last but not least is the screen cover, the lens, and that is one done Game Boy mod. Let's get the batteries back in. I think I did not align the case properly on this side. Let's get that done real quick. That's from over tightening. So do not over tighten the screws. You got to be careful about that. Possible that these, because the original screws are a little longer than these new ones, so it's possible that that could be the problem. So you might not want to use the original tri-wings. It's up to you. Let's get batteries back in. Get a game in. And there we go. I do like the look of the buttons, the blue on the white, and especially with the blue lens, I think that really sticks out. Wish I had gotten blue start and select silicon pads, but it is what it is. Blue button. I really wish that they had a cover, but for some reason it just doesn't seem like they stick out far enough, but it could just be me. Let me see. No, I guess that is normal. Never mind. Let's mess with the colors and see what we've got. First of all, brighten this. Doesn't seem to... I can turn it down, but I can't turn it up, and I don't know if I'm supposed to be able to. But there's red. There's a multicolor, so what it does is it just assigns certain colors to different of the shades that the original Game Boy had, and gives you kind of like a pseudo color mode. And as you can probably see, let me bring it up to the overhead a little bit closer. So like you've got yellow on the sides, yellowish orange there, you got pink here, black and white there. Here you've got close to the original color. I think the wheel is supposed to, it does go off. So I might still have to trim the case because it's getting stuck. Here's like a solid green. Here's a blue. Dark blue. Purple. Black and white, red, multicolored again, I think if you hold it in, yeah, so you get a brightness, position, horizontal position, pixel effect. I'm not sure how you're supposed to use the screen, but of course the button keeps getting stuck. So I might need to trim the case a little bit more because this is getting stuck for sure, or at least loosen the shell a little. Yeah, that's much easier. So don't over tighten the screws. They will definitely hinder the dial. Let's bring up brighter. Yeah, let's go back to black and white here. Hold the button in. And here's your brightness control. You can do it from here. Vertical position. So you can adjust the position. Actually, you can stretch it. Oh no, actually it does move it. Okay. Well, we won't mess with that. There's the pixel effect, so it looks like, and then hold it in to turn the menu back off. So yeah, so you get that LCD look. What else would we have here? Battery display. Color adjust. Okay, so let's see what happens here. Oh, so you can make your own colors. That's really neat. Oh, I back out of the screen though. Doesn't seem to show me. It doesn't seem to allow me to. It's color 0, 1, 2, and 3, but there's only 3 colors that I can adjust here. Oh, because I need to adjust it for that. Okay. But I don't know how to back out of that menu. Oh, so it just goes away. So what I wanted to do is get into that pseudo color mode. So let's go back into the menu here. Okay, so that's the white. So you can adjust the colors and kind of do your own pseudo Game Boy Color, Super Game Boy mode. It would be really cool if the controller board could actually read Super Game Boy data from the cartridge and play. Maybe that's a future possibility. But yeah, that's pretty cool. So that's my new Game Boy. I don't know if I'm going to do anything else to it. I don't think I'm going to paint it or anything. I like the white with the blue. I did notice that the buttons were a matte finish, whereas the directional pad is kind of glossy, as is the power switch slider. So that's fine. And this will probably eventually wear just from use and become shiny anyway. So that's the DMG IPS mod version 4 with on-screen display, where you can adjust a few different options. Screen is a little bit smaller than version 3 of the kit, so if you do a transparent shell, it won't necessarily show through down here. And what's nice about the version 4 kit is I don't believe you, well, you won't have to because I didn't have to either, but I think on the version 3 kit, you had to trim a little bit of this top support piece of plastic that's here, just because it would butt into it, and because of that you would also have to trim a little bit of the silicon membrane as well, which would get it perilously close to the actual pad. Probably would result in tearing and this becoming basically useless, kind of like it is now. So new screen, shorter, good option there. But that's it. I'm going to trim this video down because it's going on way too long for my liking, especially with the first part where I clean, disassemble and clean and verify everything's working. So if you like this video, go ahead, hit the thumbs up. If you have not yet, feel free to subscribe, although there's never any obligation. I do appreciate it if you do, though. But if you didn't like this video, hit the thumbs down, but please leave a comment below as to why, so I can try to use that to help improve things going forward. And that's all. I'll catch y'all later. Thanks.